All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat 1 video. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about anything that has to do with the future of Mortal Kombat 1 that's been quote-unquote, well, not quote-unquote, it's actually been data mined, but obviously, just because something is data mined and is in the files of the game doesn't mean it's actually going to come true. So a lot of times, I don't even cover this stuff because these characters that I'm going to talk about have been around as far as data mined since the game first came out, pretty much. And I've rarely talked about it just because there's some things that never end up actually happening. But you guys are always telling me to keep you guys informed with the news. So I'm here to do what the people want, and I'm here covering this news and potential of what's to come for Mortal Kombat 1. So leave a thumbs up on the video if you're excited for any of these characters that I'm going to name in a little bit that could potentially make it onto Mortal Kombat 1. So here we go. All right, so I want to get the leaker's name right. I think his name is Interloco. I think he's a Latino too, so shout out to him. Because I think I watched one of his videos and estaba hablando en español. He was speaking in Spanish, so shout out to him. He's one of the most prominent data miners in MK1. I don't know if he was around in MK11 or not, but I know that he's been around since Mortal Kombat 1, you know, data mining the game and giving out potential names that could potentially be DLC content for this game. You know, this is not 100% confirmed, obviously, because we're not going to know until we actually get a DLC trailer and an announcement from NetherRealm. If you guys don't want to get spoiled, just in case this ends up being something that comes out in the future for Mortal Kombat 1, just click off the video right now. Little spoiler warning, just in case this ends up being true as far as all these characters. So, actually, I'm going to go one guest, one normal character. So first of all, let's start off with one of the weirdest choices that I would have thought as far as a DLC character from Mortal Kombat 1. Conan the Barbarian. So Conan the Barbarian supposedly has had intro dialogue in the files and, you know, his name in the files. Conan the Barbarian, ladies and gentlemen. That is so weird. I know that Arnold, you know, they had Arnold's face capture for the Terminator and all that. I don't know if they're going to use the same face capture in Mortal Kombat 1 for Conan the Barbarian, but that's a name that could potentially be a guest DLC character for MK1. All right, now let's go to a main fighter. This one, you know what? I think it's pretty obvious because we all see how much of an asshole Sub-Zero is in the Mortal Kombat 1 story. So it leads to a perfect sort of segue into turning Sub-Zero into Noob Saibot. So the next character, one of the characters that we're going to see potentially in a future DLC expansion for Mortal Kombat 1 is going to be Noob Saibot. I think Noob Saibot has always been a fan favorite ever since Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Did he come out in UMK3 also? I think he did, right? Maybe in some versions. But, you know, where I got introduced to Noob Saibot was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. That's where he was absolutely busted, absolutely broken. But I think Noob Saibot is one of those characters that is always a fan favorite and is a pretty obvious choice to sort of transition from the first part of the story mode where it's established that Sub-Zero is a complete ass to the second part of the story mode, because we are going to get an expansion of the story mode. It was pretty obvious from the ending, the little teaser, and tournament in that second part into Noob Saibot. So I am so excited if Noob Saibot ends up being in the game, because I feel like with the DLC, NetherRealm has gotten more creative. And if they give Noob Saibot just a combination of a bunch of moves that he's had in previous Mortal Kombat games and add to that new moves that they come up with, god damn, just imagine that. I'm sweating just thinking about it because I want that to happen so bad. Next guest character. This is another weird one, but I mean, we already had the Terminator, the T-800, right? We had the Arnold version of the Terminator. So in these data mine files, there is sort of potential evidence that the T-1000 is going to be a guest DLC character in Mortal Kombat 1. The T-1000, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Patrick, I think, is the name of the actor. Obviously did an amazing job playing the T-1000 in Terminator 2. I think Terminator 2 is probably the best Terminator movie out of all of them. T1 is actually pretty sick. It establishes the lore, but I think Terminator 2 takes it to a whole nother level, and the T-1000 was definitely a big reason for that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they have a lot to work with the T-1000's abilities. So that's going to be interesting if that ends up coming true. All right, next up is a normal character, which is the yellow robot of hype, Cyrax. So Cyrax started off as a broken cameo, ended up getting fixed and getting normalized, and then NetherRealm accidentally reverted him back to being a broken cameo, and now he's back to having shackles, and pretty much no one's going to use him anymore unless you're a Cyrax main. I'm going to be curious to see how crazy Cyrax is, because there's two versions. Well, there's two versions of, current Cyrax that we know of. We have Cyrax from Mortal Kombat 9, who was probably the most broken character in Mortal Kombat history, in modern Mortal Kombat history, because we did have Noob Saibot in MK Trilogy. But a lot of people feel that Cyrax is even more broken than Cabal. It's just Cabal does, some things a little bit better. He's more of a solid character, but Cyrax is that one-touch kill god character. He touches you once and the game is over. And then you have the Mortal Kombat X version of Cyrax that, although he's good, he does not compare to his other Triborg versions, which is Sektor. Even I think Cyber Sub-Zero and Cyrax are on par. They're pretty average. They do some things that are tricky, that could trick people, but overall they do not compare to Sektor and Smoke. So what version would we get of Cyrax? Would we get that broken version, or we get a more tame version like we had in Mortal Kombat X? I still think he was fun in MKX. So next up here, this is the one that's been around since the beginning. Everyone and their mother pretty much knows that Ghostface is going to make it onto the Mortal Kombat 1 roster. It was even teased by Ed Boon, posting about the horror movie icons. And then you had a check mark for Freddy, for Jason, for Leatherface. And then right there in the center was Ghostface, unchecked. Obviously, there was a couple other ones. I think Pinhead was in there. But, the obvious one is Ghostface right there in the middle. It's going to be really interesting to see how they handle Ghostface, what kind of intro dialogue they have for him. I really hope they have the Scary Movie Ghostface mask, because it's iconic. It's almost as iconic as the actual Ghostface himself. Everyone loves Scary Movie, and I really hope they have that mask. But I think, everyone knows that Ghostface is probably going to be coming into the game. There was a little bit of a lot of people were saying, because the Scream franchise right now, the movies are in shambles, because I think their director left, and then their co-star or their main stars left. I don't really follow it. I just know that a lot of people were saying that the Scream franchise is in a lot of trouble right now. But that's not going to stop Ghostface from invading Mortal Kombat 1 as a guest DLC fighter. And now the last one brings a lot of joy to me. If this character ends up being in Mortal Kombat 1, I would be out of this world, beyond happy, because it is the red robot of hype, Sektor. The red robot of hype, Sektor, ladies and gentlemen. My second favorite character of all time. Actually, you know what? He's my third favorite character of all time now. I'm sorry, Sektor. I love you. But Aaron Black took that number 2 spot. You guys know number 1 will always be Ermac. He will always be my number 1 no matter what. But my boy Aaron Black has taken that second spot. I'm sorry, Sektor. I'm supposed to be hyping you up right now. But so Sektor and Cyrax have the most evidence of, having the best chance of making it onto the game, mostly because every character that's a main fighter that also has a cameo, they have two different versions of their names in the source code. This is coming from Interloco. They have different versions of names, one that says cameo and one that doesn't. And Sektor and Cyrax also have that similar sort of double name in the source code, leading him to believe that they're pretty much confirmed, guaranteed to make it onto the game. Will that happen? We're not going to know until NetherRealm actually announces the future DLC content of Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm just providing you guys what we know so far. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and you aren't subscribed already, make sure you guys do so. And if you want to see some more, there's videos popping up on the screen right now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.